Hello, my name is Matthew Kay.
And I'm Joshua Hanlon.
And we're at Brickworld 2013 Chicago. And we're going to give you a little tour of the convention hall. Just kind of show you what's going on in all parts.
Yep, we'll be giving you a tour of the whole convention floor here, actually. So this will be kind of a long video, but you'll be able to see the entire floor and really get immersed in what Brickworld looks like. So starting right here, we actually have kind of a space display here. This was actually interesting.
Collaborative build between a couple of brothers.
Three brothers built this build, which is interesting. You don't see that very often. So that was pretty cool. Some interesting features there. And I think it was Steve Meyer and then a couple other brothers as well. So that was neat. And then over here you've got about 4 tables worth of the Bricksworks booth. Dave and John Zandiger that make all this stuff. You've got their awesome
Spaceman?
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin here. Buzz Aldrin is actually headed to NASA this year, which is very neat. And then some of their other creations here. And then, let's see, then moving on here, you just got different creations. These are all different builders.
That's a grill?
Yeah, you got that.
Look at on the grill?
Nice little detailed grill. Very impressive.
Yes, I love a grill.
Here's a little Star Wars display.
We don't need that.
Looks like you got big Star Wars section here. This is kind of some larger models, actually. You get jump roper, runners. And you can actually see the builder putting together some more of it right there, so that's neat. You can see it in action. And this is the sea, kind of the water display that I believe they used this technique for the first time last year, actually, with the, what is that, plexiglass? Or
suspended over some parts.
Kind of
I've seen
make
it before,
look like
but
water.
it does make an appearance kind of a little bit rarely.
I think Brickworld was the first year they used last year was the first year they used it at Brickworld. And then you got your gun rack here in case of zombie attack or any other time we would need some strong defense. Whole nice array of weapons there. So
the NRA would be proud.
Yes, they would. This here is a very cool mosaic. I'm really impressed. I love how they made the little box in the bottom left corner and kind of put treasure in there for the Draken. And just the amount of detail on this is really impressive. This is one of my favorite mosaics at the convention. It looks like we got a Lord of the Rings display right here.
Middle Earth, yeah. So what's that? The Auric or something?
Yep, you got the tower and all different. I think this is
Lego form. Soon, right?
Yeah, large official Lego set will be coming to us soon. Got kind of a miscellaneous display right here. There's actually Angry Birds built by Brian Bonahum, the coordinator of Brickworld, and some more miscellaneous stuff here, some Batman. Here's something by Sean and Steph Mayo. This is the Polar Warriors that they have. This is very impressive. I really love, I know that was a big collaboration on the internet earlier in the year where a whole bunch of really good builders got together and did that with the Polar Warriors, so that's very impressive. Looks like we got some more Hobbit here.
That's the set though, right?
Yeah, that's like the official Hobbit whole set. They kind of added road and things to it. Here it looks like we got lockers, some mosaics. This is an interesting kind of a city layout, I guess you would call this. Yeah, it's a different one. I like the stairs going up and down there. And then over here, actually, you've got the official Lego booth, and you can see the different speedors. They race them, and you can win prizes and stuff. They're actually handing out free Chima sets, which is very nice. So
because you don't have any of those already, right?
Yes. And then coming back over to the creations here, some more miscellaneous kind of a train layout there. And then here's some super impressive micro scale buildings. These are all real world buildings. Very neat. Got all of these are pretty recognizable. Empire, the Rockefeller Center, all places like that. Empire State Building. Coming back around, you got some more of these buildings here. You got the World Trade Center Memorial and the New World Trade Center. Let's see, what else do we have here? All different buildings here. And then let's go ahead and move on down here. Some more. You got the old World Trade Centers right there. A large mosaic. This is kind of the mosaic section right here. So you've got couple more mosaics there from like Dilbert, a Tweety Bird. And this, I believe, is actually the mosaics from the mosaic workshop that happened here at Brickworld. They put these all on display after the people build them.
And they put them here on display.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really neat.
32 by 32 base plates, right?
Yep. Yeah, so those are very impressive. Some more cool mosaics here. It usually looks like there's mosaic being worked on right here.
Yes.
What will this be a mosaic of?
This will be a mosaic of Sunday afternoon on the island of Le Grand Jatte. So this is a painting by George Seurat, and it's done with dots of color. So this style of creating a mosaic actually works very well for it, because that's how the original painting looks. You might recognize this one from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This is the painting that they're all staring at.
Chicago, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thanks for showing that to us real quick, so you can see things like that. Here's a finished Batman mosaic. Very impressive. A little Lord of the Rings here, some Bionicle, kind of a Star Wars set display there. This is Lord of the Rings. There's a dog. That's an impressive dog, kind of a unique creation. You don't see a whole lot like that. Different buildings.
Side note, so that mosaic we saw earlier, this is the real version of the painting, just in case you're wondering.
So there you can see the real version. Little Pirates of the Caribbean.
All kinds of good stuff, little abstract builds.
Yeah, you'll notice a lot of this, there's like collaborations between builders and stuff, and then there's also a lot of builders who just bring little creations.
Or gigantic creations like
yes,
this.
You've also got giant...
While this might look like a collaboration, it's not.
Giant micro cities. This was all built by one builder, built all these... This is all a whole made-up city that he came up with.
A lovely gentleman from Wisconsin, yes.
Yeah, very nice stadium and everything here. This is
highway with a spaghetti junction down on the other end. So
this is a very impressive display here.
Very impressive.
And then coming back over here, we've got another build by Sean and Steph, actually right here. The kind of lava pit with you got all the castle and everything going in there. That's pretty awesome. The lava animals. Nice winery, large castle display here. And actually, if you look in the towers there, I thought that was interesting. He used the wheels from the castle ram set, and the different castle sets have come with those wheels. I thought that was pretty cool. If you move on down here, you got some more miscellaneous builds. Some Ice Planet stuff from Chris Malloy. Different, more Star Wars stuff here, kind of laying out. That's interesting. You got kind of a plain, interesting explosion technique right there.
And the water tower.
Yeah, water tower and the explosion technique.
Who built the water?
I really like that. And if you move on down further here, it looks like they're working on a great ball contraption here. That's impressive. It's kind of a different, kind of got more of a building than most great ball contraptions do. And there's a nice looking Goodwill. It's a unique creation. Yeah, you don't see many Lego Goodwills. It's pretty cool. And here is a Herschel's Farmhouse from The Walking Dead. So if you're a fan of The Walking Dead TV show, you might recognize that. There's a few zombies out in front there. So if you're a fan of that show, you might recognize that. And you've got some more miscellaneous Star Wars here. And then here's some more castle, some classic castle, and some classic space here. So if you're a younger builder, you might not remember some of this stuff, some of the older stuff here, but very cool nonetheless. And then continuing on down here, we've got the Firefly minifig scale Serenity. This is just an absolutely incredible ship here. I mean, just the huge scale of it is, it's got a full interior, and you can, there's even a micro and a little bit larger scale, medium scale, a micro scale, and then the giant one. And just you can kind of see inside there a little bit, but the thing is absolutely massive. So that's one of the coolest creations here. Then we'll go ahead and continue on down this way. starting right here, this is actually the science building in Iowa. So this was an interesting collaboration from the to kickstart the Iowa Lego Users Group. They put this together and had people from the community come in and help them build it, and now it'll be on display at the Science Center in Iowa, which is very neat. So that was very cool to see. You can see some more miscellaneous creations. I think these are from the Iowa Lego Users Group as well. There's a kind of a face sculpture right there. And moving on down here, some more miscellaneous stuff. Here's a very nice firehouse. I love how they did the front of that with those bricks. I think those lend themselves very nicely to like a firehouse kind of effect. They even made a little cardboard backing for it to give some more information, which is always nice. Some more Hobbit, Rivendell there. Nice micro scale work. And here's a little military. We're starting to get into a little bit of military. I haven't seen much of that yet. You can see all of that, and kind of moving down here you see tanks, helicopters, troops there. And then moving a little bit further down you got a Chili's. That's really cool. And then some modular style buildings, a subway. Subway is very neat. Some more creations spread out here. I really like these. This is a creation called Sanctuary here, kind of floating rocks with the waterfalls coming down the side. Thought that was very impressive, the way they do that. And then there's kind of an Iron Man build there, the Malibu Mansion attack, and I think somebody's still working on this build right here, so we'll have to see what that is coming in the future. And this is like a different roller coaster track builds. You've got kind of a gold mine kind of look here with the track going all over. And moving down here, we've got some nice space display. It looks like this is called Star Clash. This is by Sean and Steph and Simon Liu, actually. It looks like they made their own game here where you can kind of play and two teams fight it out. That's impressive. And keep on moving down here to, this is a large display called Studsville, where it's a whole large city with a lot of moving parts. So there's a lot to look at. As you can tell, it's in this display, a lot of minifigs, a lot of the cool sets like the Ferris wheel and the carousel, some of the farm stuff, and then the things like, there are some custom buildings up there as well, which are impressive. Here's some more interesting, that dome building is actually a baseball stadium, which is that's one of my favorite buildings here as well, and along with your modular buildings here in the front.
Isn't this crazy? I mean, come on, isn't this crazy? Like the dome and
yeah,
it's kind of love it.
It's very cool. And here's a couple interesting kind of 3D mosaics with the two different shields here. I thought those really stood out. The lion shield and the dragon shield. See a few trains there. Let's see. This is some Halo, some Pokemon, some StarCraft, different kind of video game builds there. Moving down, you got some more miscellaneous stuff. This looks like they're kind of practicing for a race here on some of these tracks here. They practice for the Pinewood Derby or the equivalent of the Pinewood Derby with using Lego cars. And this is a really impressive castle build here. I love how he did the wall, the water. He's got the kind of the wooden wall out there. Very nice. And they're building another castle back here as well. And then some more castle display here. This is kind of a smaller version. And then, yeah, you got yourself a house.
It's really interesting, you have to admit. So this is from what I believe to be, I think this is what it says here on the paper, the first Lego factory to be built in the United States, back when Lego used to contract out Samsonite to do the production. So this is from the outside wall of the factory, and here you can kind of see a photograph, I guess, from the wall. And I don't know if they're selling them or something, because they mentioned something about you will receive 1 square like this one. But anyway, Lego studs, old Lego, Samsonite, gotta love it.
Yeah, this looks like a whole case of vintage stuff here, and like
cards,
unique vintage things.
Collectible items,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Moving on down here, we've got some more vintage stuff here. Old collectible stuff.
Lego bricks, yeah.
Old
Brickworld badges.
Brickworld badges and signs. And then this is actually another impressive castle layout
Spania
here.
versus Sweden.
Yep,
Very impressive. Lots of little tents, Renaissance tents.
I love those brick-built tents like that. I've seen those in a couple of medieval displays, and I think those are very cool.
Very nice, very nice. Black roof, can't beat it. Got a couple little bricky builds there. Looks like it's from
Miss
Brandon Kohler.
Yeah.
And then this, it looks like they just don't want us to
Yeah, I guess they're saving this
So
for
we're just gonna
tomorrow.
keep going. And I think next we're going to go look at, what is it, Adam Marie Tucker's?
Yes, there's
roller
the
coaster.
roller coaster here that I think they're actually going to make kits for this, I believe. I think it was like a limited production
That's what
kit
he's
run.
mentioned something about
And
that, yeah.
so you can check this out here. Huge roller coaster, goes all the way, winds all the way around here. Very impressive.
Very intricate. Kind of built in the style of like a wooden roller coaster, with lots of truss supports.
Yeah.
So very, very impressive. And all Lego. Hard to believe.
Yep, definitely. So you can see some more creations going along here. Comic books creations. You can see some kind of superhero villain creations here. Here's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Very impressive there. I like
Leaning
that.
Tower of Lego. And then this looks to be what I think. This is a New Orleans style shotgun houses, so it's kind of like mimicking one of the New Orleans style homes, kind of like Treme or something like that. Very intricate architecture, but this is just an exquisite build. Color choices, I think we see dark blue, light yellow, sand green, so many props to Devin Wilcott there. I believe that's the
Yeah,
name.
and there's a micro haunted house there as well. That was really cool.
Beautiful build.
Yeah, the techniques they used there to make that, I thought that turned out great. It's definitely recognizable. And moving on, looks like we just got a series of builds here. Cars. Here's actually the new set that they just unveiled at Brickworld, the Sydney Opera House.
Comes with brick separated.
Then we have an up-close video of that on our YouTube page you can check out. So you can see that there, and then we'll come over here and start going down this way. This is part of the pen lug display here. They've got their whole...
Broad curves. That's the key word of the day. Broad curves. Make sure you get that. Broad curves.
They've got their whole track display set up here. You can see all their trains. That's what they're really known for. They're really impressive trains. So you can see that whole display all down there. And coming up here, we got the Toro lug set up. This is actually by Ruck right here. This huge creation. He built this in the style looked like an angel, he said. So you can see interviews with a lot of the builders that we mentioned here on our YouTube page. And keep on moving down. This is one of the largest ships here at Brickworld. It clocks in at over 200 studs long, and it's actually swooshable, which is pretty amazing. So for the amount it weighs, the builder actually built that just because another builder challenged him to make a ship over 200 studs that he could actually swoosh. So I thought that was interesting that you'd go about such a huge project just because of that. So it took him 8 months to finish.
Crazy.
So if you keep on moving down here, you can see some of the, I believe this is a virtual lug display, and this is all different scenes from The Wizard of Oz. So you can see the tornado, then you move into the yellow brick road. We can actually come down here and show it to you if you want. The tornado, and then you got the yellow brick road a little bit further down. From through the woods, you get to the Emerald City. And then they're going back to Kansas here in the hot air balloon. So that whole impressive display, you can see the whole thing there.
Oh, it looks like there's a cameo from previous guests there.
Got some fans over there.
Hopefully they won't get kicked off.
So coming back here, you can see some M-Tron here. This is a large collaboration that's always impressive to see at Brickworld. I know a few of the builders that are involved with that, so that's always really cool to see all the old M-Tron style builds. And then here you've got some of K-Lug, the Kenosha Lego Users Group
Jameson,
builds. Jameson, Guy, and Pan. And
this model of the Thomas P. Hardy house.
Yes,
right?
yeah. It's got Frank Lloyd Wright house here. You've got all their different creations. And then moving on over here, we've got some more water builds, some pirate ship.
We go up here and we have the castle layout done.
Yep, we got a whole castle layout. I think it's
not on there. We don't.
Name escapes us at the moment, but it is a very impressive display. One of the largest castle displays here at Brickworld. So it's really cool. There's so many details. It's really hard to show you in the video all the awesome details of this build, but it is very impressive. Here's some more from Matt Delanoy. He's got a large display this year with all his very detailed builds that he brings. I always look forward to seeing his builds at Creations.
We got a little reference to Arrested Development, Bluth Company, right? Mm-hmm. Gotta love it. New series on Netflix if you want to watch it.
And I know, and then he's got his the Fifth Element movie over here, a scene from that. So this has been another interesting build that I've enjoyed seeing kind of build up over the years. As you can see the waterfalls coming out and stuff. It's very nice. Here's a couple of cool guitars. This is from Chris Rozek, I believe, did these.
Some more mosaics.
And
got a couple mosaics here.
Yeah, I got
a little mosaic there.
Yeah, an Iron Man mosaic. Let's see. Yeah, Iron Man mosaic. Another one there.
Definitely.
Couple of this is the large Heroica game right here. It kind of took the Heroica games and expanded them greatly and added a lot more detail and came up with some new rules and stuff, and they play it. And then you can see kind of a whole line of trains. Every kind of train you can imagine is right here.
All very, very cool. And that brings us to the next building down here, which is kind of a large-scale train station we got. Looks to be a model of Metra Villa Park. I'm not sure if that's a real station, not too familiar with Chicago's commuter rail system, but nonetheless a very nice build. Got a little elevated platform right there. Very interesting roof technique, kind of accurately mimics like the metal ribbing that you'll see on lots of commuter rail stations from the middle of the 20th century, so very, very nice.
Yeah, it is. A lot of this whole display here is actually the Northern Illinois Lego Train Club, which is, they always have a huge display at these conventions.
Section, got some elevated trains, got the new high-speed train there.
Well, I think that's the newest train from the Lego company.
51 layout.
Yeah, this is from Brian Williams here. He's got all his 50 most popular robots there. And moving back around here, you can see the other side of the castle we were talking about earlier. The large, really huge castle display here. With all this detail, you get the tents, the multiple walls.
I don't know, what's that, like darts? Or
yeah, they use the levers to as arrows there.
Very cool. Incredibly impressive. Well, gotta love castle, but that brings us to our next layout here, and this is the crazy space. I don't know, how would you even describe it?
I'm not sure. It's crazy though. Yeah, I mean it's huge. You got the mountain terrain. You got all the trains. I think this is called Neotron is the official name, but especially if you see this in the dark with all the lights on,
you gotta call
really
it
impressive.
Neo something, right?
Yeah, and so he's got all these different mountains that it goes in and out of and everything. So that's a very impressive display. And if you want to keep on, you can see some more of the K-Lug display. They put behind us here. This is all Kenosha Lug. Yeah.
Most of it's Kenosha Lug.
Keep on. You can see some of Nick Jensen's Halo weapons here. Some of the very impressive Halo work that he has done. Any kind of Halo weapon you imagine, I think he's made it. So from grenades to guns, everything. Move on down here. This is Tyler Kleit's build that he's here. You can actually see him working on it, putting the finishing touches on his build there. Very impressive. And if we keep on moving down here, you can see some more of the Toro lug, the Toronto, Canada lug, some mosaics they did here. Little, this is like a rock band, or Guitar Hero, I'm sorry, Guitar Hero, and you can play the different games. This is actually Simon Liu did the collaboration here with another builder to do a lot of these huge ships. There's a black light inside the rock there, so you can see the lighting up there. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here. This is one of my Toro lug is one of my favorite displays here at the convention. Everything they brought this year. Keep on moving. There's a Friends X-Wing. I thought that was pretty unique. That was a pretty funny idea there. They would think of that. And then the scene from Star Wars there in minifig scale. That's super impressive. And if we keep on move back over here towards the other end of the pen lug display, you can see some more trains, kind of the train terminal, and got your windmills and just some more of the various buildings in the pen lug display. And if we're... This is the Eurobricks collaboration here between builders from all over the world. There were builders from Sweden, everywhere in the world. They worked on this display, so you can. It's very impressive. It's they kind of went for like a Da Vinci punk. It was like steampunk. They were going for Da Vinci punk to make a lot of their creations based on the work of Leonardo da Vinci. If you move on down here, we've got some more castle, some really nice small castle displays. This isn't as large as some of them you see, but still very detailed and impressive. If you see a few more castle displays, some interesting buildings, kind of some miscellaneous water displays here. And keep on moving down here, you can see kind of a train terminal in this train tunnel in the mountains right here. And here's a mosaic. This is actually Benedict Cumberbatch, so if you're familiar with him, very cool mosaic there of him. And a Dalek from Doctor Who. We've got some more kind of micro water scenes here. Some interesting techniques used on those. And if you keep moving here, I like those roses are very unique there. Really impressed by those. I like the technique he used to make the rose petals. And here's a David Pickett. This is the Nightly News at 9 studio that he made here for his Pickett, show, right? That he does. Yeah. David Pickett. So that's really cool to see that there in action. The anchors behind their desks. If you've ever seen Nightly News at 9, you'll instantly recognize that as where all the action takes place. So that's very cool. Moving on, we got some more stuff by David Pickett here, different scenes from the show that he does. And these ships here, you might, if you see the names, notice a trend in these ships in that they all met a untimely end with the Titanic, the Exxon Valdez, and Edmund Fitzgerald, and then the Costa Concordia, the most recent one that was that off the coast of Italy, I believe. The cruise ship that tipped on its side.
And this is a model of, God Lord, it's a library. It's the Charles Volex. I know the build. I've seen it online. Many detailed photos are posted online, but it looks like it was created by Paul Vermeesch. And yes, he does post his builds to Flickr quite frequently, but I guess he's available for commissions at this point. But if you just take a look at this model, it's fantastically detailed. You can tell that it's just a very accurate rendition of a real creation. So many props to Paul, and I think that this is probably one of the best builds in this scale, I guess you could say, that I've ever seen. So good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the Casino of Justice, a huge building here.
Now, if you know what Cincinnati Union Terminal looks like, then when you see this, you should think of the Cincinnati Union Terminal. I know I did. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it definitely has kind of that look to it, and you've got the whole inside of the casino there with the tables and everything going on. Then here is a really interesting lenticular mosaic with kind of the old Lego logo and then the newer one. I don't know if we can get shots of both sides of it, but you can see at least one side, and then you can see it start to change there somewhat. And so that changes to, depending on which side you look at it from, using a cheese slope technique. This is some more miscellaneous kind of micro builds here. You can see a little micro maze and all different cool stuff. It's amazing what these people can achieve at that small scale. And then moving on down here, we've got a little more Star Wars. I think this build is still in progress. Then this is a large display of trucks, vans, any kind of vehicle you can think of, cars, all different kinds of trucks and things. So a whole bunch of miscellaneous vehicles there. We've got Snoopy, Boeing right there. And let's see, four-wheel truck there, some interesting stuff. Here's an interesting castle display. I'm really impressed with the castle there, and they've got some landscaping around it. And then here's a huge ship that the builder actually made like a frame for to hang it from, which is interesting. You don't see that very often. And this is actually, says it's from one of his sketchbooks that he made this from. And really impressive, just the scale of that is gigantic. You can see from the same builder some of the Tron light sickles. And moving to a little military over here, you've got some German trenches. Over here you've got World War I trenches here.
We have a 48 by 48 light gray base plate with many figures placed in a very interesting configuration. I don't want to think about it too much because I'm afraid I just might, lose appreciation for it.
There is an underlying message there somewhere, we are sure.
Some unseen significance to that film.
Here's actually the Brickworld logo built, the Brickworld badge built in Lego bricks, which is always neat to see. And then you come back around here. Here's the other side of that Euro bricks display. So you can see some of the. It looks like one of the airships kind of fell apart there, but you can see how impressive that is there. And we'll have some footage of that on a different video on our YouTube channel if you want to see more detailed shots of that. So then moving on over here towards the other side of the convention here. Got a couple more rows to go. Here's the 2013 Microspace Odyssey. This is a large collaboration between a whole bunch of different builders that all made micro spaceships, and they've got kind of meteor field going through there. So it's always cool to see those collaborations because a whole lot of people with their different creative skills get together, and they all think a little bit differently, so it works together really nicely. Here's kind of a raised train city layout. You can see, and then some more Minecraft mosaics and things. Got some miscellaneous, an alpha mining facility. Here's some very impressive, these are from Alex Doide. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. The Knight's exosuit, and a whole bunch of exosuits here. And then the Nomad, there's another ship from him, and here you can see some long lines of trains here. If you've ever wanted to see giant trains, really detailed, well-built trains, Brickworld is the place to be, because you'll see a lot of impressive content here. This is a very cool one of my favorite builds here. It's a German U-boat, and the builder actually made this gray case, big wooden gray holding case for it. It was very cool as well, but you can see the detail there with the guns and everything and the sides of the ship. And actually, as we come down the other side of this, you'll see more of his displaying inside one of his submarines. This here is the USS Missouri, and served in World War II, and I believe the Korean War as well. And it was modernized for the Gulf War as well. So that's always cool to see an impressive ship. This is from Andy Baumgart, all his tanks and fighting vehicles. And check those out. And moving on down, we've got starting to hit more military here. Got a little North Africa campaign, World War II, North Africa. So you can see that there. And then moving on over here this is kind of a train layout along with some of the modular buildings. You can see a kind of haunted house carousel theme going on there, Halloween carousel. And keep moving here, you've got some modular style buildings, some houses there. Some more miscellaneous builds here, kind of a... This here is a... I'm not sure exactly what that gun is, and then a kind of a small castle layout. Here's some impressive Star Wars related ships that you can see they're real large scale. These actually are the boats that they race in the pool here at Brickworld. They do a boat race every year. It's really cool to watch. We were able to see that this year. You can catch that on our YouTube page as well. Here's a Trouble board game completely built out of Lego bricks, which was very impressive. I always like those real world things like that built out of bricks. Large Brickology Brickworld 2013 build here. You can see some more of their creations down here with the all these different weird shapes and kind of a brick bending kind of things, the circles and stuff. Here's kind of the post-apocalypse display right here, and you can see they're still working on it, putting things together. They've got a lot of cool lighting up in this display as well that's really neat. You can see some of the builders are right there. And if we keep moving along here, see some more military right here, tanks, things like that. And here's some large train models with shipping containers and all different things. If you notice on that one, they didn't do the trees and things with Lego, so that was interesting why they chose not to do that. Here's a large, really huge, this is the Dark Tower that they put up, and the completely base made of red flowers as well, which is an interesting look. You don't see that very often. He made a nice little brick-built sign for it. Keep on moving down. There's some castles, some mosaics. And then here's some more mechs right here. Kind of fighting mechs and things like that. Miscellaneous military builds. And then the large train models that they made here. We got, 4 or 5 tracks wide running here with all these trains. So like I said, if you're looking for trains, Brickworld is definitely the place to be. A whole lot of train clubs here that come and display all their awesome trains. If you keep on moving down here, we got some large Atlantis display here. And then some airships and things. This is actually right here a model of Fort Ticonderoga, and you can see the real one right there. The builder got this really detailed. The detail he was able to put into this is really impressive. And if you keep moving on down here, here's actually the same builder who built that sub we showed you. Built this whole dry dock with the sub. You can see inside this sub he took the side off, which is impressive. So you can kind of see the details that he puts into that, all the little details. And then he's got the torpedoes, he's got everything there on top. A little bit more military.
Are we done yet? I can't stay awake, guys. I can't stay awake.
It is getting late here. I think it's about 1 in the morning as we're doing this. So it is getting late, but we're almost finished here. This is some more real world buildings, like the Willis Tower.
Similar to the ones over on the other side of the room, but they are completely different.
They really do. I think some of them are the exact same. A lot of them are the exact same building actually, but they're different builders. So it's funny how that worked out.
Are they in a competition? Is there a rivalry? These questions will best be left unanswered because I swear that Eiffel Tower is identical to the
I think it might be.
But there's probably some very subtle differences.
Starting right here is the Brickmania, kind of World War II Pacific Beach display. You've got these planes, the propellers actually move. A very nice beach there as Matthew fixes their waves for them. And then you've got the landing ship tank right there. That's the main part of this display that's really impressive. Goes right up to the shore and just lets the tanks ride out. And I love that water technique he uses as well. And then coming back around here, Get some of the smaller boats, and then here's the other side of that microspace collaboration.
I love the asteroids. Very beautiful asteroids. Tan brick, all built beautifully. And does that wrap it up? Or
I think that does wrap it up. Yeah, I think
Can you believe it? Will this video go viral? Did we just embarrass ourselves and limit ourselves from getting jobs in the future? Who will really know? I guess the time will tell, right? But that's Brickworld 2013.
Yep. I'm Joshua Hanlon.
And you did most of the video, and I didn't. And on that note, I believe it's time to end. See you next time.
Thanks for watching.